everyone, my name is Temidayo Omoniyi, and so for today's session we're doing advanced lookup using index and match, XLOOKUP and FUTA. But firstly, we're going to start with the Vlookup. The Vlookup basically is used to look up value at its right hand side. So basically the use of lookup is just basically for looking up values at its right hand side. So we'll start with the Vlookup. But firstly, we're going to do a data validation for the client more. So we'll click on here. Come to validation, we'll change this to list, we'll go to source, we'll select all the clients from mobile down, then we'll click here, then we'll press OK. So you can see we have created a data validation for this. So basically we use data validation for preventing people from putting the wrong information in data sets. So we're going to do a VLOOKUP for January 14. So I press equals to VLOOKUP. Just to Vlookup. What I'm looking for, the lookup value is what? Mobile, comma. The table array is what? That's the table which we are looking from. Select the old table, press comma. The next step is what? The column index number. So the column index number is the number, that's the column from the table itself. So you can see that client is at column number 1, January is at column number 2. So I press 2, comma. So do I want an exact match or a false match? I actually want an exact match, so I use 0. 0 is actually an exact match. So I press 0, I close the bracket, press enter. So you can see I've gotten the value, that's the monthly revenue from clients from January 14. So I can just drag through and I get it. But actually this is a wrong approach. This is a very wrong approach, because if you're going to do this real life, let's take a scenario when one data from in between the data sheet is removed. It's going to affect the entire calculation. So the best thing we can do now is we're going to delete true. We'll come here, copy this formula, but we'll be fast about it. So I come here, I paste, I change this one to what? 3. 4. 5. 6 and 7 and 7. So basically I'm just trying to like drag your memory back to how VLOOKUP is being done. So you can see how VLOOKUP works, right? It works, makes your work actually dynamic. So you can just come here, you can select all through here, I come to home here, I come to insert. Let me just get a chart for this. So this is a chart I created for this. So you can just come here and be making your work more dynamic. Basically, I'm just trying to make the work more dynamic actually. So this is a total. This data group, sorry. So you can see how it makes your work so dynamic. It makes your work basically so dynamic. So we're done with this. So let's go to the different lookup. So you don't remember I said that VLOOKUP actually helps you look up value at its right hand side. So that's basically just the advantage of VLOOKUP for looking up value at your right hand side. So let's come to a scenario where you're looking up for value at your left hand side or any other angle. Let's try VLOOKUP will work for this. So let's start from here. I select all the accounts manager. I do a data validation for this now. I come to data. I select data validation. I go to list. The source. I collect the source of all the account managers. I click GD here. I press Ctrl Shift down. I've selected all. Press OK. I press OK. So I created a data validation for all the account manager. I see data validation for all account managers has been created now. So the next step now is I'll try it using VLOOKUP. So the first step is trying using VLOOKUP. So I press equals to VLOOKUP. What is the lookup value? Lookup value is what? GD right. Press comma. The lookup array, that's the table array. Is this the entire table? Press comma. The column index number. The column index number is what? We're looking for a client, right? That's not column 1. I press 1. True or false. I press the exact match, which is 0. I close my bracket. I press enter. I see it showed not available. That's NA. If I drag to not available, why is this? Is because VLOOKUP basically helps you look up value at its right hand side. That's if the lookup value is here at the left, you can only look up value at its right hand side. But now you notice that the lookup value is for the table here is at the right, and you're looking up for value at the left hand side, so it wouldn't work. So that's when things like index and match comes in. So I'll show you how to use index and match to solve this problem. So I press equals to index, the table array. That's the first step, is the table array. So I come here, I select the entire table, I press comma. The next step is what? Row number. We don't need the row number, so I press match to change that. I press my match. So the next step is what? Lookup value. The lookup value is what? GD, right? I press comma. The next step is what? Lookup array. The lookup array is what? From everything from the account manager. Control Shift down. I press comma. It says what? Exact match or less than or greater than. I want an exact match. I press 0. I close the bracket. It showed what? Row number. We are not using the row number, we're using the column number. So I press comma, and the column number is what? Column number we're looking for is at 1. That's the client is 1. So I press 1. I close my bracket and I press enter. That says mobile. So imagine if I drag through now, it wouldn't work because index and match don't allow you to drag through basically. So what I have to do everything one after the other now. So I come here, I control all, I copy. I'll be very fast about this. Paste. I change this one to 2. So sorry, I think it was part of it was my bracket. Change on to 3. It's 4. It's 5. That's 6. Last one is 7. It's gonna be 7. So I've copied. So I'll just copy the format. So I click here. I select any of this Naira sign here. That's the currency used in Nigeria. I come to home. I see paint, format painter. I select format painter, and I go through. So this one. Let's see, why is this showing me none? Oh, I think there's a mistake somewhere. So let me just, I'll do this again. I say equals to index, the array, column, I put match, the lookup value is GD, right? That's GD here, comma, the next step is lookup array, right? That's everything from GD down, comma, 0, close bracket, comma. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. 7. Close my bracket and enter. So it worked perfectly fine. Now you can see the index and match. It actually helps you look up value at different direction. Basically different direction. That's the idea of index and match. So I'm going to do for XLOOKUP. So that index and match, when it became more complex, people users started complaining. So they created a new lookup called XLOOKUP. So basically the idea of XLOOKUP is to look up value diagonally. So it's actually from the name X. From the name X, it means diagonal. So it can look up value at any direction. That's why it's called XLOOKUP. So I'll do the XLOOKUP now. I say equals to XLOOKUP. The lookup value is what? GD, right? The lookup array is what? That's everything from here, from the account manager, comma. The return array, we're returning for client, right? Control Shift down, comma. It said the next step is what? If not found. So I put a string. I said not found. I close my bracket. I press enter. I can see mobile. So if I drag through, let's see what happens. It said not found, right? But I can solve this by just creating an absolute reference. I click on the mobile. I come here. I press my F4. I also press the F4 again. I press enter. Then I can drag all through now. See, basically it worked perfectly fine. I copy the format again for here. and voila, it's working fine. It's working very fine. See this Kunle, right? Let me change this to Kunle. Let me check. It's Kunle. You can see they're both the same. You can see how dynamic this is. So the last one is called filter. So filter based is actually a very popular function in Power BI. We use it a lot in Power BI when you use the calculate. So, but filter basically is only available for Office 365. It's not available for Office 2019. It's available for Office 365. So I press equals to filter. Let's do the filter now. So I say filter. What array did I want to use? Let's say all of this, comma, include account manager must be equals to Jide, comma, I put a string not found, sorry, not found, and I close, I press enter, voila. So I think came out instantly. That's some of the advantage of filters. Makes your work so dynamic. You can see how dynamic this is now. This is basically the idea of the new features in Excel, all the new lookup values in Excel. So let's use a real life scenario now. Let's do it with a real life scenario now. So you can see this playable data. So these are actually dummy data. I think the only real and accurate name here is only Michael Afuse. So other data here are actually dummy data. So I'm going to look up the value for everybody based on the job description. So you can see the job description here. We have basically how many departments are here? That's 1, 2, 3. That's basically 5 departments are here. So this is from the department here. So I got the job description from here. So I'm going to use that to solve this. So basically we can use XLOOKUP, index and match, and filter. But I prefer using filter first because filter makes the work so dynamic. So I'll show you how it makes the work so dynamic. So I say equals to filter, right? I say filter, the array, select the entire array. I say comma, include. So by including department, I select the department, and I say equals to what? Digital marketing. Press comma. I put a string. If it's not available, it's not found. And I close bracket and I press enter. You can see how dynamic this is. You can see how dynamic this is. If I press MD, you can see MD gave me everything. So, but let's try using XLOOKUP. I'll show you the reason why I prefer using filter now. If I say lookup, the lookup value is this, right? Comma, the lookup array, that's from the data here. Comma, what am I returning? I'm returning first name. If not found, I put a string not found, right? I press enter. You can see, if you notice something, we basically have 2 data analysts here. That's Uche and Michael. But for the XLOOKUPs, only looking at Uche, at only Michael, because it only takes the first value, which you don't want. You want it to be dynamic. You want it to be able to take the 2 data analysts. If I come to digital marketing now, we have 2 digital marketing departments. We have 2 people in digital marketing department. That's John and Mary, but it's only taken for John. That's why I prefer using the filter. So let's just do the filter again and see what I mean by this. So I say equals to filter, the array. I select the entire array, press comma, I include the department. I say equals to digital marketing. I put a string not found. I close it and press enter. You can see now. You see how dynamic this is now. For data analyst, now you know what to do. So you can see Mikey and Uche came out. MD came out. The is meant to come out. Basically, just makes your work more dynamic. That's actually the idea behind this. Makes your, I have to copy the paints here. Makes your work so dynamic, so dynamic. So dynamic. You see, that's the beauty of filters. This feature was only available before in Power BI, but luckily for us, Microsoft brought it to Excel, and it has been awesome. So during the last session, someone asked if I could transpose this and also use index and match for this. So I'll try this. So I copy the table, I come here, I paste as a transpose, I select everything. I want to expand the data so you can see everything. So I've expanded, right? So I come here, press escape. I'll just do I won't really do much. I'll just say, okay, for the index and match, copy this. I'll paste it as a value. I'm not really doing much. And this for the lookup type, I paste it normally. So we're just going to try and do what the person asked during the last section. So for account, let me just basically delete all the values here. So I'll do a data validation for account manager now. I'll do data validation for account manager. I come to data validation, list, get my source for me, all the data validation here, and I press OK, right? So I come here, I say GD first. So the first step now we've already transposed. Now I want to then get the client for GD, right? So I say equals to index. The first step of index is array, so I select all the table array, comma. The next step is what? From here, I can see the next step is row number. Since we are very transposed, now you can see that the client now is at row 1. So you press 1, comma, then you press match. You type match. So now the lookup value is what? GD, right? So I click on GD, press comma. The lookup array of GD is now from the account manager down. I press comma. Do you want an exact one? I want an exact one. So I press 0, I close my brackets, and I close it again. I press enter. And you can see that mobile came out for GD, right? So I just come here, I copy this formula, paste here, I change this to 2, this to 3, this to 4, this to 5, 5, this to 6, and this to 7. So I can always copy the format from here, and I paste all through, and I just create, let me just create a borderline for all this, and we are good. So basically you can do transpose for index and match. Also, hope you guys learned a lot. This video was brought to you by your busy edge. Have fun, guys. Bye.